Congratulations, you're another lucky no prize winner. You'll find it enclosed.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of No Prize Podcast. I am your host, the Professor Bud Young, and with me, as always, from across the pond is Johnny the Machine Hughes. How are you, Johnny?
I am very well. How are you?
Fantastic. We're getting buried in rain right now, but is that typical for England, though, right?
Hey,
No?
might be typical for New England, but I'm looking out at a sunny vista.
Oh.
Mate.
Well,
We have sunshine.
we have to wait a few days for that.
Yeah, but yeah, when you get it, right?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, when it comes, it doesn't go away. And we also have Lucas. How are you, Lucas?
I am doing fine physically, but my mind is blown over all the past news that's come out over this past week, man. Absolutely blown.
Yeah, no kidding. I was just trying to catch up with it before we came on the air, but we're gonna save that for the end. Let's do some reviews here. You know what? We're gonna start with Symbiote Spider-Man.
Yay!
That's Johnny's realm of responsibility here. So
Oh, symbiote Spider-Man. So, written by Peter David, art by Greg Land, inks by Jay Leistein, whatever. Colors by Frank D'Amata, and letters by VC's Joe Sabino. Check me out. Right, so I love me some Peter David. He wrote one of my favorite all-time Spider-Man stories in The Death of Jean DeWolf, or Jean DeWolf, depending on how you want to say. I say Jean because she has like that French barrier thing going on, so that was cool.
Yes.
I also loved his Star Trek work. Never read his Hulk, never read X Factor, so hey, there you go. With Spider-Man, there's always a level of fun and humor to his Peter Parker, as well as to some of the other characters. I love the conversation about Power Pack could beat up Mysterio, which is laughable but true. Because Power Pack rule. Let's bring that back in place. But there is one knock against Peter David's writing, and that he is, and it's evident in this, and it's evident in some of his other books, Star Trek books specifically. He has a nasty tendency of fridging female characters. It's like that's his default story method. And I don't know.
By frigid, could you translate that for us, please?
All right. Okay. So there's this term that's called frigid. So basically, anytime a female character gets introduced, only to be killed, it harkens back to a Green Lantern issue written by Ron Mars, in which Kyle goes off to fight whichever space monster's attacking whomever at the time, comes back to find that Despero has killed his girlfriend, chopped her into little bits, and stuck him in the refrigerator.
My goodness.
So anytime that a female character gets killed unnecessarily or as some sort of plot device, it has bemoaned the term fridging. And if you want to think about another one that occurs not in comic books, if you watch the film Seven, all right? Because in Seven,
right.
Gwyneth Paltrow, the only reason she is there is...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. You haven't seen it. How can you spoil the film?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah. So she's there for one reason, and one reason only, to get killed at the end. It is the most obvious fridging. Now, there's a writer of Peter David's talent should be able to get past this. Should be able to do something to create some level of context or some level of raison d'etre for the bad guys, or the good guys even as well. So I'm really a little bit annoyed by that. Greg Land's art's okay. Land has been accused of lifting images, whether it be comic or photo reference stuff throughout his art. He's been around for years, so I guess it was inevitable that he'd start lifting his own images, which is why Felicia looks more like Black Canary than Black Cat. There you go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Jesus.
Peter's face is a little bit odd. It doesn't look like a Peter Parker I know in any shape, way, or form. The colours are great. They have that kind of Star Trek TV 60s soft colouring thing going on, which tries to, I don't know what's going on there. It's an okay issue, but I've got to ask this question.
Shoot.
What is the point? This is set way back when, after the first Secret Wars. We all know what's going to happen to the alien suit. We all know what happens to everybody involved. What is the point? When there's so many books out there, why would you spend your hard-earned on this? Okay. I just don't get it. So,
and I'll jump in on this, and because I believe the rumored villain for the next Spider-Man issue or movie is supposed to be Mysterio, right?
That's not a rumor.
Right.
So why don't you do a new story with Mysterio?
We'll see. Well, what I've been noticing a lot in some of these Spider-Man books is that they've been throwing in the Mysterio a lot. It's not just Mysterio, it's been Taskmaster. So they're planning on doing something with these villains. So they're sprinkling these villains into the books, hoping that'll catch on, so that by the time we get to the movie, we'll know who they are. And I think that's what they're doing. And that's the only reason I agree with you on those other points. And the only reason why I can see that it's such a big deal is because they did the whole Mysterio storyline. He's trying to do the bank heist. He's trying to do the one last bank heist before he retires, and that's been actually a storyline for the last few books that I've read. Mysterio, he's trying to retire. He's up in the old folks' home. He just wants to be left alone, but people keep bringing him out of retirement, all this other stuff. So I think that's basically the point of this whole book.
I know, but do it. Give me a new book. You don't have to set it back 30 years and tell me about when the alien costume was kicking around. Sure. For me, this book is, I want to clobber the hell out of it. Is it? I didn't know if that was too harsh. It's definitely not a stretch. I need something between clobber and Sue Storm. There you go. Look, okay, I'll have Baby Franklin. There you go. Baby Franklin, the book. There you go.
So I guess my big problem with the book is maybe the same minor. Well, I don't know if it's minor to some people, but the timeline, right? So I mean, we all know that Marvel uses it kind of like a shifting timeline these days, as far as when people had origin stories, right? So now like Iron Man, kind of, and he's not Vietnam anymore. He happened during the Gulf War or Iraq. Captain America wasn't really thought out in 1963 back in the Cold War, but more recently. And now we have Spider-Man swinging through a New York City that has the World Trade Center, which it hasn't been around for 20 years. So if this is supposed to be in continuity, then we should be kind of moving the timelines up a bit, where you'd think that probably most characters' origins would have been post 9/11. Where he's already been fairly established here and come back from Secret Wars, and we still have the Twin Towers. And I don't know if that was a huge issue for you guys. I kind of thought the last time we podcasted with Captain America, that storyline that happened in 1964, and where that was my minor issue with that, is where's the timeline now, or are we at the point that we don't really give a crap about the characters now, but back we can kind of write them for whenever.
Right. And just as long as I don't have an issue with it, just as long as they don't mess around with a historical fact, right? Like the 1964 issue, they did an okay job with it, sprinkling in the facts about what happened around that the other time. I understand, like, a lot of people were kind of upset about the World Trade Center towers and inside of the storyline. That's, for me, it wasn't a big deal.
Were people upset about it, or
people are upset about it. They're like,
really?
Like, how dare you? Like, you couldn't show any other landscape other than this? Like, like whatever.
Oh, in that case, they're going to hate that Wolverine Spider-Man book where he goes to Germany over the Berlin Wall. Ooh, watch out.
I don't know. Do you think I don't know if people in Europe are as sensitive as people over here?
You always ask me questions like this as if I'm like the,
you
I'm
are
the only person who has
you are the European representative until Brexit.
I tell you what, I'd sort it out quicker than this lot would. Right. So, I think the World Trade Centers are, when it happened, like everybody else, I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing. I remember watching all the news. I remember watching all the shows. Everything that dominated the world view for so long. Yes, it was a tragedy. Yes, lots of people lost their lives. But it is a moment in history. And I think as long as it's not trivialized, I don't have a problem with it. I think you've kind of... What's next? People complain about watching old Friends reruns when the Twin Towers are there in the skyline. Where does it stop? You can't escape the fact it happened. Yeah, it was a tragedy, but it's a day in history. You know, we talk about World War, we talk about when Captain America got frozen, when he got unfrozen, and nobody bats an eyelid that it was about the genocide of a whole populace of the human race. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Yes.
I can't watch Captain America because he's in the war. People died in the war. I'm outraged. How dare bullets kill people? I get it. Yeah, that might make me sound dead insensitive, and if it does, I am genuinely very sorry. But moments in history that have their impact, we can't ignore the facts and we can't shy away from it. Twin Towers existed back when Spider-Man had his black suit. They have a right to be in the book.
The one thing that this story made me feel nostalgic for is when I did used to read Spider-Man back post Secret Wars, and I really kind of missed his relationship with Black Cat. I kind of liked I kind of liked seeing it in this issue. You know?
Yeah, I like the whole idea that she loves Spider-Man but hates Peter Parker.
Yeah, well, and that's actually that was actually what was going on, right? Because back in the '80s, she did hate Peter.
I remember I was reading this book and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Ron Friends would have drawn it so much better. But
yeah.
But that's showing my age again, isn't it? Really. But, hey.
Well, they're bringing back a lot of the creators for the so-called 80th anniversary of Marvel to do some books, right? I mean, I think we got Chris Claremont coming back, and we got I don't know if they've even announced it, but I'm 99% positive they got John Byrne coming back to do something.
Chris Claremont coming back. You think they'd learn after that Magneto one shot?
Yeah, but they just kind of.
Oh yeah, me when you were.
No, I do agree with you. We've talked to him. We know how long-winded that book's going to be. Like 3. That's going to be a 3-hour read.
Yeah, man. That got cut down into size. Well.
So Symbiote Spider-Man's an Invisible Woman for me. I totally agree with Johnny where he said what was the point. So, but the thing is that is this an ongoing or what is this, a limited series? What is this?
It might be a limited. I don't know.
A series, yeah. I'm not sure.
I wonder if it's going to impact the actual original issues of Spider-Man in his black suit. Was that Amazing 281 or something like that? Lucas?
Yeah.
You're the guy.
I'm sorry. Say again. What was the question again?
Spider-Man first appearance in his black suit in Amazing Spider-Man. Was it
Amazing Spider-Man number 252, 1984?
Oh, 52.
There we go.
So do you guys want to know what I thought about it?
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
So you know where I'm going to go with this, right? I'm always going to go about the covers.
Oh, there we go.
There were 10 freaking
10.
What?
10? How can there be 10? It's a black costume. It's black. Get over it. Sorry.
So there was 10 freaking covers, and I bought all 10. to the tune of $350.
Oh, good God!
Oh.
Normal price is $400, right? But I got the hookup, right? It is. I mean, they are going for good prices. People are buying these things, but here's my issue with that, right? At the normal price of $400, you could buy the original Amazing Spider-Man number 252 and Amazing Spider-Man number 300, a low end grade, for the same freaking price. You can buy both of them. So that's what gets me about when they come out with this crazy stuff. And the high end cover, which is it's a Stanley Art Germ Virgin variant cover. That's a 1 of 250. So that one by itself is $250.
Wow.
But it's got Gwen Stacy on. She's not even in the bloody book.
But yeah, exactly. And it's not even that great. It's not even that great art, right? Now the Todd McFarlane, it's okay, but I don't know if you guys seen the Todd McFarlane cover.
No, I'm good now. Hang on. Let me.
Yeah, I'll wait. But as you come up with it, I want to ask you: do you think that cover is worth $150?
No.
That's how much it's selling for.
How much could you get the platinum edition original Todd McFarlane Spider-Man number 1 that came out back in what was it, 1990?
Oh, that's
you could probably get that. Yeah, you could probably get that one, huh?
Yeah.
I would probably rather have that one.
So, that being said, and me trashing covers, right? I want to get back to what I think they were trying to focus on. Like I've talked about them trying to focus on Mysterio. I think they're trying to reintroduce what happened with the whole black suit to modern readers. I think that's a good idea. However, the problem is that just a few weeks ago, they actually came out with a True Believers replica cover for 252.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they already came out with that. So why do this again? I don't understand that. So some of the things I think they wanted to do, they absolutely failed on it. I appreciate them trying to reintroduce the story about what's going on with Venom and everything. I got that because it's not just in here. It was in the first host number 1, which is where they showed the actually first guy to actually get amalgamated with Venom and whatever. And that's fine. Got it. But don't try and bleed us, the customers, dry with this bullshit. All right. So for me, I can't say it's an invisible woman. I can't say it's Flame On. So I'm gonna go with you guys and say this is a baby Franklin right now. Like I'm sitting in the corner with my blocks, confused about what's going on.
5 years old forever.
Yeah. So
fantastic. All right, let's do. Let's stay in the world of Spider-Man and let's do Cult of Carnage number 1.
I believe that is mine.
Lucas. Come on, Lucas.
So let's see. This one, I'm gonna just kind of spitball this one. This one was important because this is not the first story. They didn't just come off with it. This one goes back all the way to 2001 miniseries, and that one was Carnage USA, which Cletus Cassidy, he took over the small town of Doverton, Colorado. He was spreading his symbiote nastiness everywhere to nearly every resident. And then recently, in this year, they came out with Web of Venom, and we learned that the mysterious Null, the god of Venom, he's got something to do with this Null worshipping cult and where they resurrected Carnage, right? So where we're at, let's see, I'm trying to get my notes together, see who's written all this garbage.
So I can tell you that it's written by Frank Thierry, art by Danilo S. Beyruth, colors by Andres Mossa, and letters by VCs or DCs.
Right.
Clayton
Okay.
Cole.
There we go.
See how I
There
helped
we
you
go.
out?
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So in this storyline, it opens with Misty Knight of all people. Apparently, she's like an agent, an FBI agent. It doesn't really say. She drives to Doverton because the mysterious unnamed organization she works for, they've told her that her partner, John Jameson, right? Now, is this the John Jameson that's the son of?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yep.
He apparently went to the town to investigate something that's going on, so she's supposed to go over there and retrieve him. When she arrives, the whole town is in ruins. Every building is leveled, and she noticed that there's somebody that's alive under the wreckage, so she pulls up the wreckage and she noticed that, voila, there's John Jameson, right? But the only problem is he can't tell her what the heck happened. He's got amnesia. So instead of just taking him back to the hospital, whatever, they go around the town investigating what's going on. And little by little, he's starting to remember what's happening. And he starts talking about the cult and how people's bodies, they were taking the spines out of the bodies and all types of crazy stuff. And it gets absolutely weird. I love it. It's got this Cullen Bunn type of terror to it, where it's a slow roll. It is absolutely fantastic. I love the art by, you said it was Daniel Beruth. Absolutely great stuff going on. Very slow roll art, horror. This is the type of stuff that's for me. Absolutely love that last panel where they absolutely go to the church. They find a whole congregation and they're just sitting around, but everybody's spine is ripped out of their freaking bodies. That was a freaking great one. Marvel, once again, they calmed down a little bit. So instead of doing 10 covers for this, they did 3.
Thank you, Marvel.
Yeah, thank you. The one that everybody wants, but it's not really worth the price, is there's a Gabrielle Del Otto cover. I think that was like a 1-50. But this one was, I think if you're a horror fan as much as I am, this one's for you. I like. But what about you guys? What did you guys think of it?
I never really liked Carnage. I kind of just seemed to me back in the day to be a reason to kind of keep Venom current. I didn't like the idea that he was kind of the most extreme, gruesome. Spider-Man just doesn't have gruesome villains most of the time, and it's this villain kind of seemed to be a little off for me. I never really warmed up to him. Most of the books that I've read about Carnage, I haven't liked. Basically, he's kind of really not in this book really at all till the end. But I'm kind of confused over why, if you're trying to find someone, why are you hiring Misty Knight? I don't know. Exactly. But even then, I don't think Misty Knight has any history with John Jameson. So, I've never known Jameson to be an agent of anything. So that's kind of confusing to me. And actually, I think it's confusing to him, too, because I think halfway through the book, he's like, who do we work for again? So I don't know if that's going to be like later on down the road, some kind of a reveal. But I don't know if that's just bad writing or what. As far as the whole town being, mostly dead, right? Their spines ripped out. I just don't know where the story is going. I don't know if this is kind of a book that I would have picked up if I didn't do this podcast.
See, that's so many of these. But never mind.
It's definitely it just definitely is not my cup of tea. So, I mean, the artwork's not bad. I just don't like the character. It's kind of like this is why we never reviewed Deadpool. It's because I don't like the character. So I don't know, Johnny. I don't know if you want to save this one for me.
Okay, so I kind of agree with Lucas. To be honest, I think the art is probably the best thing in this book. It has that kind of creepy horror vibe going on. For the setting, at the very least, Misty for the first page or two looks absolutely awful. It's like the guy doesn't know how to draw a female face. I don't know, it just looks wrong somehow. The thing that I didn't like about the book, and I agree with Bud, the only reason Carnage exists is so they can make Venom a superhero. That's the only reason Carnage exists. You buy this book, and you'll be pleased to know that it's a one-shot. This isn't an ongoing. It's not a miniseries. It's one and done. All right. But Lucas alluded to it in his little bit, in that the events that led up to the town and Carnage are so long in the past. When you buy this, you have to wade through at least a third of the backstory for everything that's happened. Now,
right.
Now, for me, from a Pearson point of view, if I'm buying a one-shot and it's called Cult of Carnage, I want to get right in on this. All right, I'm buying this book because I'm a fan of Carnage. All right, that's the reason. That's who this book is aimed for. If you're a fan of Carnage, then you already know everything that's gone on already. So you don't need to lose a third of the book on backstory. I did like Misty's description of J. Jonah Jameson. I thought that was quite funny. That made me smile. And normally Frank Tier's work, when I've read it, a little bit in Catwoman, some independent stuff for Dynamite, it can be good. But for me, this book seems it's all about getting Carnage back into the mainstream because obviously John is infected by the Carnage symbiont, which is why his eyes go red at the end. So sooner or later, that's going to come back to bite somebody. And I'm not sure if I'm really ready for yet another Spider Carnage Venom war. But
that's coming in July.
Oh, see, that's what this is. You are killing me. Why do you tell me this? Oh, but yeah. So for me, the book is it's a clobber because if you're a fan of Carnage, you don't need the recap. And to be fair, when the thing, if it is coming, if the big war's coming on in July, then chances are we're going to get a couple of recaps in that anyway. So I don't know. It seems like it's an advert for something that's down the line, and I'm a little bit sick of Marvel doing these prequels to prequels to prequels of the big event that's coming. So I know that sounds really, really negative, but yeah. I think the art is definitely the best thing in it, though. So if you like your creepy X-Files type of walking around a graveyard full of dead people, this is your type of book. There you go.
So I'm gonna call it a bit of a stretch, and that's just because I don't want to clobber it when I already know I'm kind of anti-Carnage. So I think my opinion is call it a little bit, but so I'm gonna call it a bit of a stretch. I don't want to clobber it just because. How I feel about the character.
All right, okay. I'll revise mine. Mine's a bit of a Sue Storm then. There you go. I won't be quite as harsh. It's a Sue Storm for me. It's a little bit meh. I can take it. There you go. Is that better? Don't sue me, Marvel.
Yeah.
So all right.
So mine is a Flame On, and keeping in mind everything that you guys have said, like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's so disjointed about what's all been going on with Carnage. They should just have a Carnage book, keep it on, and freaking slow roll it. Instead of breaking it up with all these different little miniseries and one shots and everything.
Well, Lucas, you absolutely. I think you're kind of right in that Carnage is one of those characters that would suit a mature label.
True.
It doesn't need to be sort of pigeonholed into generic superhero model. He could be Marvel's version of Swamp Thing down the line. You just
absolutely
nobody. I don't understand why Marvel, obviously because they're owned by the Disney overlords, they don't want to do anything too risky, too scary, too rock the boat. But if there was a Carnage mature book with the right people on it, people would love that book.
I agree with you. Sure.
So I think Lucas is bang on right with that.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
All right. So to get away from Carnage,
to break out.
I don't know if you all know that there's the big summer Marvel event has started. The War of the Realms that has been teased on all the covers of your books for the last 4 months has finally arrived. And we're not going to review that book. We're going to review one of the many satellite books here that are going to try to tell you all the little annoying sub stories in this kind of event. So this is the first event book that has come out is Journey into Mystery. And just to give you a little backstory, so we have Malekith, who is the dark elf. People will remember him more from Thor: Dark World, right? As the villain in that book, in that movie. So he has kind of behind the scenes throughout the Thor book for the last year, pretty much conquered all of the other realms in Asgard and is now focusing on Midgard, otherwise known as Earth. And he has brought all of his little lovely allies, Surtur, I'm sure the Frost Giants. We have in this issue we have Cinder, who is actually Surtur's daughter, and the only people that can stop the war are these ragtag group of people that you would otherwise not really care about. We have Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. We have Wonder Man. We have Death Locket, and we have right, exactly.
Yeah.
We have Dr. Druid, but not the old Dr. Druid, the young Dr. Druid, and we have Thor's dog Thori. So, in Balder, let's not forget Balder, who is fresh back from hell, and somehow is really surprised that Wonder Man's now a pacifist, and I don't know what Wonder Man can help us do because he won't throw a punch, but I imagine we'll find out at some point. So little did we know that some of Asgard's mightiest were living in the Bronx together in an apartment. Thor's mom, Frigga. We got maybe a Valkyrie or two, kind of all living the lifestyle in the Bronx, and so they kind of get woken up by the attacks of the demon horde that is coming from Malekith. And this is basically kind of like a fight book, and it kind of explains how these characters that you don't expect to be traveling together are all traveling in some kind of Winnebago. And they're driving around trying to stop the war and end up, to make a long story short, at the end of the issue, they end up driving into previously dead Ares. That's about all I got out of the book.
I can't believe you picked this book, and that's all I have to say about it.
Okay, so
Well, we can't. I mean, we can't talk about Marvel and not talk about one of their biggest books of the week. So,
Yeah.
So my questions. Well, first of all, why the heck are they driving around in a Winnebago when they could
Because
probably?
wouldn't all fit in a galaxy.
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that goes back to Malekith, right? He has two objectives in this whole big thing. Number one is to control all 10 realms, and the other one is to destroy Odin's family, right? Because Odin's family, they're the only one that's going to be able to retake all the realms. So the reason why they're in a Winnebago is because Laura, Odin's daughter, is in there, right? She's just a little baby or whatever, and they're trying to get her as far away from all the chaos as possible. Now, is that the type of book that's going to be able to ride this out, thinking that it's going to make me want to run to my local comic book shop and buy this thing? No, not necessarily. But yeah, I mean, and look, I like Kate Bishop, I like Carlos Morales, the Spider-Man, but the other guys.
Oh, wait, Carlos?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Miles, isn't it?
Excuse me. I'm getting my Latin freaking names all mixed up. So.
Hey, Hey, I may mispronounce creator names, but that's taking the biscuit.
Yeah, I mean, I, the choice to bring these different characters together is kind of weird. So they just kind of skip the whole. I mean, they've got the band together, but they didn't go to why they picked these particular freaking people to be in this book. I don't get it. I understand their roles. You know, one person's a technology person, one person is a magic person. Like you said, I don't know what the hell Wonder Man's there for.
Or Deathlock. Deathlock's there because they can't find Deathlock. Like what?
No, the whole fact that she controls like all these robots, that could be interesting. I would kind of I would like to see like how many she can actually control, and then why the hell instead of going over to the Bronx and using those to fight the trolls, she's running away from the whole fight. But that's their choice. No, I'll leave them at it. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I want to ride this out before I start clobbering this thing. But interesting stuff going on.
And does anybody remember where Dr. Druid came from? I know that I don't know if he's like a de-aged version of Dr. Druid. Or
when the boy Druid and the girl Druid love each other very, very much.
So I don't have his total backstory. His first appearance was in Mighty Avengers number 13, and every time they start bringing up this whole thing about the Sorcerer Supreme, his name has been in it, which is kind of weird because the last one in which Loki became the Sorcerer Supreme, he wasn't in that whole competition, I don't believe. But so for them to all of a sudden just break him out like that, it was kind of weird. But yeah, where they're getting him and trying to make him a character in this thing, that's again interesting choice.
Yeah. So yeah, the idea of throwing these random people together just kind of we might as well have reviewed as Guardians of the Galaxy because it's the same thing. Like where are these characters coming from? And why are they all together? We're like 10 issues into As Guardians of the Galaxy, and I could care less. I don't even know why they're all together still. But anyway, yeah, some of these characters, it's like we haven't seen these characters in legit years, and these are the people that can stop the war. So, not buying it.
All right, okay, so.
What did you think, Johnny?
All right, so it's written by, let's say, the McElroys.
Oh, sorry, I didn't give credit.
I'll do this because everyone last one I get it wrong anyway.
They might not want to take credit for this.
Easy. What was I going to say? Art is by Andre Lima Araujo. Better help me out with that.
Araujo.
Colors by Chris O'Halloran. Yeah, I know that one. Letters by Clayton Cowles. I know that one as well. Yes. Hey. All right. Okay. I am probably the one person who does not give one iota of what goes on in Asgard. I absolutely have no interest. I've never been a Thor fan, apart from Lady Thor, because I thought that was interesting. So I am probably the least knowledgeable on this. As such, my opinion on this book should be deemed highly suspect because I, A, don't know what the frack's going on, B, I don't care what the frack's going on, and C, I'm not reading War of the Realms because it's Asgard. No, who cares, right?
Right.
A couple of things going on in the book that did kind of make me laugh. Kate is in this. What's going on with West Coast Avengers? Stuff like this gets my continuity.
All jacked up, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? And then to make common sense of this, it's like, I'm the only person that can drive this thing. Although Wonder Man, being a man and, older and will have driven like Quinjets, which should be able to drive a Winnebago, is just sat there. So you're thinking to yourself, well, you're not the only person really at all, are you? It's just, I don't know, lazy storytelling for the punchline. The talking dog threw me. I was like, what? And then I was like, this isn't my cup of tea. I'm not going to give it the Fantastic Four score on this purely because I know that I wouldn't touch this book if it wasn't for this podcast. That doesn't mean that I'm saying the writing's bad or the art's bad. This book's just not for me. Listen to Bud and listen to Lucas if you decide whether or not to pick up all the different versions, all the different like snippets and how these things are affecting. I will say I don't think this is a team that's going to stop the war. I think it's a team that's suffering, just like the readership. But there you go. Yeah. Right. How's that? That's a nice, honest review, isn't it? Check that out.
It's very, very touching, Johnny.
Yeah. Touch it with fire later.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the deal. This whole war has been building up for like the last 6 years. Throughout all the Thor books, whether it be the Jane Thor book or the Odinson book, they've been sprinkling this whole war thing, and they've been really slowly building this whole thing up, man. So for them to go and to be the main book for the War of the Realms was really a disservice. They shouldn't have did it this way. They should have picked some other book. They probably should have put War of the Realms #2 this week, and this book should have just been a tie-in. And the Druid, still don't understand why we got Druid in here. I don't understand what the whole deal. I don't understand Balder. I don't know why we got Balder in here. And he's an Asgardian. Because he was supposed to be in hell at some point, and they keep telling us over and over again, "Hey, yeah, you just came from hell. What the fuck?" So,
that's Albuquerque.
Yeah, it's for what it's supposed to be. I'm going to give it an Invisible Woman. If it was just a tie-in, just like the other books, like the Squirrel Girl book, and I forget what the other the Asgardians of the Galaxy. This would have been fine, but they made this the main book that we're supposed to be reading for it. So this for me is an Invisible Woman.
Cool.
Wow.
And then I think they actually calmed themselves down again. Once again, they only put out 5 freaking books. If you see the books on the freaking at your local comic book shop, don't touch it. Don't touch any of the variants. Unless you really, really like it, and don't only play cover price. Only play, what's it, like $3.99 or $4.99. Don't pay over cover price because nobody's buying any of these books for any much money. So that's all I got to say about that.
You remember a couple of years ago when Marvel said they weren't going to do event books anymore?
Yes, that was last summer.
Event.
That was in summer.
Yeah.
That was during the summertime. That was last summer, man.
I felt
Battle World.
I felt like it was after Secret Empire.
Secret Empire. Yep.
Yeah, and then of course we got Civil War 2 the next year or whatever it was. Oh, that was Civil War 2 was the year before. Yep. What did we have last year? Yeah,
yes.
Battle World.
Well, yeah. Well, we went from Secret Empire to Generations, and then I forget what the other crap we went into, but right after they said it, then we got 3 or 4 different freaking big event books, and now we're getting another one.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with the way that Marvel do their event books is that we're still in the middle of the X-Men and their Age of X-Man thing going on, so you've still got all that going on. We're gearing up for the Spider stuff, and you've got Avengers No Way Home, and now you've got this as well. I don't know who Marvel thinks can afford all their books, even if you just choose them to pick cover A all the time. I know I can't afford to buy all of their books. If I was into all of their events, there is no way you could pick up every single issue. No.
I remember trying to do it for Secret Empire, and it's stupid trying to pick up everything, you know. Or even back with Secret Invasion, or when they used to have those Daily Bugle books. Do you remember those? Yeah. I was just like, why are these books existing? No. Anyway, so I figured we needed to touch on War of the Realms, and this was the one book that came out this week that I thought tied in most to the storyline going on.
Which it should do, because it's Journey into Mystery, which is the first book, first appearance of Thor was in Journey into Mystery. So there is a modicum of logic being used here.
Even though there's no Thor.
Yeah. How thoughtless of them. Oh.
Dad jokes.
That was awful. All right. Okay, so we're gonna get away from our books. We're gonna only do 3 reviews this week because we have I guess some news coming out of from Disney Plus. We also have some book announcements. I know Johnny wanted to talk about the Invisible Woman comic that's going to be coming.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Nope.
Oh.
Didn't see that coming. I will say, if we're going to talk about the Invisible Woman, I will say I hope it ships more regularly than the Fantastic Four. And I hope Marvel are using this as a way to get back to doing strong female characters, and I hope they give it more than, however many episodes or issues that someone decides, now it's not working. If Marvel can afford to put out lost leaders like Symbiote Spider-Man, based 20 years ago in a story that we all know how it's going to end, then surely you've got to put some more effort into original stuff like the Invisible Woman book. There you go.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man. Because my question is, Mark Waid, he's writing a book. So does that entice you at all to want to pick this up and read it?
It entices me. I'm a Mark Waid fan, so I'm going to give it a chance. And what better strong Marvel woman hero to have in their own book than the first one?
Yeah. So. And it's only a 5-issue limited series. So why not? So I don't see anything about who she's supposed to be fighting or why she's on her own or anything like that. It should be interesting.
When it sells more than Captain Marvel, I'm gonna laugh.
Okay, well, who sells more, her or Black Widow?
Well,
what do you think?
I don't know. I think Black Widow should. Just because I think she's got maybe more viewer identification, maybe. Or reader.
The problem with the Black Widow book is it's nothing like the Black Widow that you see on the TV or on the movie screen. So
right. That's true.
Which we've said for ages that sometimes when Marvel try and get people into comic book stores, it doesn't work because the character you see on the movie isn't the character in the comic book. Take Captain America, for example. It feels like there are 3 different Captain Americas running around. And for this time, funnily enough, there isn't. It's all Steve Rogers. So no Nomads, no Sam Wilsons, no US Agent. It's all Captain America.
So the other news we want to touch upon is Disney Plus revealing some news about their streaming service coming out, and that's going to be launching on November 12th of this year. So that's not that far down the road. $7 a month, $6.99 to sign up for this service. But the big announcements coming out were the fact that a lot of the Marvel movies are going to be moving over there exclusively with the launch of Captain Marvel, which is going to be available on day one on Disney Plus. So that's fairly big news. But the biggest news is going to be the new original titles coming out, and that's going to be several based on the Marvel universe. So we have WandaVision, which is surprising. But we have Elizabeth Olsen coming back as Scarlet Witch and Paul Bettany as Vision in the live-action series. We have Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is kind of that sounds like more of a buddy cop show. That the more I think of it, with Anthony Mackie returning as Falcon, Sebastian Stan returning as Winter Soldier. We also have Tom Hiddleston coming in as the God of Mischief and Loki.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I think this summer Marvel is launching a Loki miniseries as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So So, well done, Marvel. Your PR company has done it again. Despite the fact your big movie is coming out in less than 2 weeks' time, despite the amount of people who are trying to avoid spoilers, despite people who aren't watching trailers because they don't want to see too much of the movie, which is bonkers considering it's 3 hours long, and the trailers are only like a tenth of that, you've gone and told us what your plans are for the future, which includes 4 characters that are already dead from Infinity War. Great. Well done.
Right,
Round of applause.
Exactly. Well, no.
Well done. So now, if you've got any investment in these, and yes, before people get on my back and say it's a superhero, superheroes come back from the dead all the time. Yes, they do. But for 3 hours, in fact, for 2 weeks and 3 hours, could you not keep your big mouth shut to give at least the pretense of there being a surprise?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Right. And I was actually talking about this earlier. Talk about spoiling it. So they announced this week that Loki was going to have his own little miniseries this summer or something like that, right? The problem with that is that in War of the Realms #1, I believe it was, his father ate him. Supposedly ate him. So that means that, I mean, we all know Loki, he's got his little things. No matter how many times he dies, he's going to come back some way or another. But you're immediately 1 week after having him killed off by his father, you're now saying, oh yeah, Loki's going to get his own miniseries.
Oh, it's just bonkers. It's like, come on. I mean, people are putting a lot of their effort into writing their comic books, whether we like them or we don't like them, whether we hate them or whether we love them. People put a lot of effort into writing them, to draw the things, all the process and putting them together. And then halfway through in fact, an issue into the big event, Marvel have already told you that whatever happens in issue 1 has no bearing. What sort of statement is that given to people who rock up to Marvel and say, hey, I've got a really great idea. It'll take me 12 issues to tell this story. It's going to be about redemption and the death and the turning of a villain. And issue 2, they say, oh, yeah, we're going to out do another miniseries of that same character where he's a superhero. You're like, thanks, man. You have just lame duck my whole series.
Yep.
I'm sure Marvel aren't the only people that do this, but it just really gets my goat, man.
So that being said, is anybody excited for these TV shows?
Can I go first, please?
Yes.
I'm not, because knowing my luck, Disney Plus will follow the DC Universe model, and it's only available for USA. So Disney, stuff it. If you can't be asked to make it worldwide for everybody,
well,
who do you think buys the books? Do you think Europe doesn't buy comic books? Do you think that Europe doesn't go to the cinema to watch your movies? Really?
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, the ones that they're not allowed to have the DC Universe, those are actually showing up on Netflix. So
just one so far.
Which one is that?
Titans.
Titans. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So far, we've had no Harley animated show. We've had no Young Justice, and we haven't had anything other than Titans on Netflix.
Not even Doom Patrol.
Not even Doom Patrol.
That show's so good.
Yeah,
so when people tell me about, we're doing this streaming service, all I hear is, thank you for Machine. Thank you for buying our product. Really appreciate your supporting your comic books since 1970 something when you started buying them. As a reward, here's 2 fingers. You're going to have to wait until somebody gets their ass to you and actually thinks about the rest of the world. So tell me, Marvel, do you not want my money?
Now that Johnny's done ranting, are you done ranting?
Yeah.
Do we know if it's going to be available or not, or are we just assuming it's not?
I'm assuming it's not.
Right. Okay. And there's a reason why, because Britain, they've got this whole thing now where they're trying to edit and prohibit certain things, like a lot of these licenses. So until the UK gets that all sorted out, nobody wants to play ball and make their stuff available over there.
So I'm going to read the last line from Marvel.com on their announcement on Disney for Disney Plus. Following its USD debut, Disney Plus will rapidly expand globally, with plans to be in nearly all major regions of the world within the next 2 years.
Bite me, Marvel.
So 2 years after it's already put out.
Yeah, great, cool.
Right.
So 2 years from now, I'll be able to say, "Hey, check out that Vision and Wonder series," and you'll be like, "Dude, it got cancelled after 2 episodes because it's a Marvel show."
Yep. They've rebooted that 3 times. It's now it's now called Wanda Pietro.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awful.
So Marvel, what is it? Marvel's What If is also going to be in there. A whole bunch of Star Wars stuff.
I'm going to stop listening now if that's all right. Is that okay? I'm just going to go. Just going to go to the bathroom. Is that all right? You know, someone text me when you're done. Talk about shit I can't see. I'd really appreciate that. Cheers, thanks.
Well, goodbye, everybody. Yeah, it is a shame. You know, I mean, especially, I mean, when you make the good point, when the money's on, everybody just wants to say, "Hey, I will give you my money, Marvel," and it's like, we'll wait for 2 years to make sure it's available. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
So I guess here's my argument, and I'm going to stick up for Johnny. If there's any global company in this world, is Disney, right? I mean, don't they have Disney Europe and Disney Asia and Disney everything? How can they not do some kind of global rollout?
Because they're betting more on China and Pakistan.
Right.
Well, because if you look at, like, I know when you pull up Netflix, you got your normal dashboard, right? But me, once again, I love horror. And then when I go into my horror dashboard, there is more Chinese stuff, or excuse me, Asian and Pakistan and India and stuff from Turkey, because those are big countries that are looking, they are dependent on Netflix for the stuff. So I guess that's why. Like, otherwise I would have a whole bunch of Doctor Who on my in Netflix, which I don't.
Don't knock Doctor Who. What I was going to say, what makes me laugh even more is that, as you said, and this will be my last comment until we talk about something else. You turned around and said there's going to be a Loki miniseries, a Loki TV show starring Tom Hiddleston,
right,
who's British.
Yeah.
So you're happy to use our actors? Sons of bitches.
Isn't the kid that plays Spider-Man British as well?
Yes. Yeah, he's British.
In Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah.
Right.
And aren't the majority of these movies filmed over there anyway?
Well, funnily enough, part of Avengers Infinity War was filmed in a city called Durham, which is about an hour away from me. So I didn't go, but apparently Chris Hemsworth was knocking around the town and stuff, smiting students. But never mind. Okay, next topic.
Are you excited for the What If animated series?
This is the one I can't see. Yeah, great. Yeah. What if I could see it?
What if Johnny Hughes was able to watch Disney Plus?
I mean, I am, because that means they can go crazy with all these little crazy miniseries. They can go crazy. They don't have to worry about continuity. They don't have to worry about it delving into the other universes and everybody pissing off. No, it's supposed to be like one episode, go crazy, get stupid, and then you can mix Spider-Man with Punisher or whoever you want. That's actually who, like, when they did Luke Cage and a Punisher and Iron Fist, that probably should have been a What If instead of those full series, that full season that nobody really wanted to see, and then it actually fell flat. So I'm excited. I want to see who they're pairing it up with. I've heard certain rumors of which What If issues they're going to take from, but nothing concrete yet.
So I think what I'm more excited for is kind of the potential for more stuff from Marvel aimed at the Disney Plus network. Like, how about it like an original TV shows? Now we're getting like 3 current Marvel Studios movies, but what if they reboot Fantastic Four as the hourly TV show? You know,
I'll only take it if they bring the kids along as well. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Marvel universe, that Lee and Kirby, everything that they did in Fantastic Four was the groundwork for everything in Marvel. So I think they could possibly have just like a wealth of story material just based on Fantastic Four. And maybe what if we have a Wolverine TV show? I think it would be a good way to reboot Wolverine from the X-Men and kind of get away from Hugh Jackman in the theater. Kind of
That could be
recast.
dicey. That could be dicey because everybody is still used to Hugh Jackman. I mean, I
Right,
don't know if I want another one yet.
So not recast him for a theatrical length movie, but maybe in a
In a TV series, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might work. I don't know. These are all projects that Johnny won't be able to watch. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll bother going through with any of it. You can't have Johnny.
Finally,
All right.
I did see something. The Star Wars trailer. There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Let's talk about the Star Wars trailer. Did everybody like it?
Yes,
You liked it?
I did. It's funny. I was in Mrs. H and I, and my stepdaughter went out for a quiet tipple last night, and I was there on the phone, so I got my phone out and started flicking through it, and boom, there was this trailer. So I hit it and I watched it and I turned up the volume, and before I knew it, two other people sat around me had heard it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then started going through their phones. There was like two different people watching it at two different times, so I was getting like Princess Leia's theme in like stereo, just off center. I was like, well, it's like watching Netflix on a download slow day. It was. I thought it was decent. I have no idea what's going on, but I really liked the fact they had Princess Leia's theme running all the way through it. Gave me goosebumps. Yeah. Just the music.
I was all over Billy D.
Yeah, there we go.
Back in the pilot chair, man.
That's pretty much all he can do, right? Because I mean, I was just talking to my friend. I was like, "You know how old that guy is?" And he's like, "No," but he's like, "Black don't crack," because he don't look as old as he is. And I was like, "Dude just turned 82."
Wow.
Yeah. he just turned 82. I'm like, holy crap, he looked good.
Oh yes, man. And then the title, that gave me goosebumps because I don't know what the heck is going on. So what that makes me have to do is all these Star Wars comic books that's coming out, I'm actually going to have to take a little bit, take a good look at them and see what's actually going on and see if there's any hints as to what might be happening.
Well, what do you expect? It's Marvel, so I'm sure they'll spoil what's happening in the movie in about 2 weeks' time.
Oh, great! So I don't have to read it. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, did anybody catch the very end of the trailer where you had the Emperor's little cackling laugh?
Yep. Yes, I did.
And he is actually Ian McDiarmid is in the cast list, so he's coming back for episode 9. So whether or not you're going to have I think you're going to have the Battle of the Force Ghosts, Luke versus the Emperor. And they're not going to be able to hit each other.
Is there a date yet for when this is supposed to come out?
Just December was what I heard.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to leave my house when it's so cold. I gotta have these big blockbusters during the summer, man. Freaking I can go into an air conditioned theater if I can just chill.
The other Star Wars news that had come out of so Disney Plus was that The Mandalorian is also going to be launching in November, which is the first Star Wars live action TV show, which actually looks decent. So I'm kind of excited to see that. I don't know, but you guys have seen anything?
I'm excited to not seeing it. It's great. I'm beside myself.
Jesus.
Maybe we can get Marvel and Disney to send you a copy, like a comp copy.
Yeah. That's actually what we probably need to do. If we can maybe hook it up so that we are reviewing some of these TV series, maybe Marvel will hook us up. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Al, make it happen.
Maybe we can start like a GoFundMe for Johnny.
You know, if I wanted to, I could do it illegally. I could get a VPN and just download it like that. But why should I have to? I'm not doing anything illegal. All right. Okay. Cool. There you go.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of No Prize Podcast.
Whoa, you can't.
Oh, wait.
Whoa,
Wait.
whoa.
Whoa. Hey, what are we supposed to be doing?
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds.
30 seconds each. What's going to happen in Avengers Endgame? By the time we do the next pod, we'll have seen it. So this is your last chance. 30 seconds. Everyone has an idea. Lucas, off you go.
Everybody dies.
And then comes
That's
back.
Everybody comes back. That's all I want. I want to see everybody die again, and then everybody comes back. That's all I
it's
want.
Mickey Mouse that puts on the Infinity Glove and clicks
exactly.
everybody back. Say, come on, boys, come to my show.
The only thing I really care about is I want them to start introducing some of these younger characters. I have seen speculation that Kate Bishop might make an appearance. So that's why she might have showed up in this freaking War of the Realms, kind of give us an introduction. But that's the only thing I think might happen is everybody dies again, everybody sure enough comes back, and then the new Hawkeye makes an appearance.
Okay, Bud.
This is what I think. I think Captain America makes the ultimate sacrifice and ends up being the only character that ends up actually dead at the end of Endgame, and everybody else comes back due to his sacrifice. He brings everybody back to life. So that'll cement his legacy as being the one that saved the universe. And I don't think Thanos dies. I think he ends up like Negan in somebody's basement.
Okay, so I agree with you that it should be Captain America that clicks his fingers. I think I've said it before. It should end. Clicks his fingers. Everyone comes back, and then the mid scene, credit scene is Steve Rogers dancing with Peggy. That's it. It fades out like that.
There you go.
I'd be happy. The thing I've got to ask you before, and this is the last question I'm going to ask, and then you can wind it up. In one of the Guardians movies, the end scene is creating somebody, and the guy goes, "We'll call him Adam."
Right. Yeah, that
should
right.
be Adam Warlock, right?
Yeah.
So in the comic books, Adam Warlock is the Gauntlet Saver.
Yeah. See that's what I really wanted to happen, right? Forget all the last. This is what I wanted to happen. I wanted Adam Warlock to make an appearance. I wanted Infinity to make an appearance. I wanted the One Beyond All to make an appearance. Death, I wanted Death to make an appearance, right? Because
30 seconds. I gave you 30 seconds.
yeah. But that's not what I think is going to happen. But this is what I want to happen, right? So totally different section. I mean, all these other characters that they build up and already put in the movies, I wanted them to make an appearance in this freaking movie. But it looks like it's not going to happen. So
no, they cannot. They cannot introduce a character in Endgame that's going to save the universe. It's got to be one of the original.
No, but Adam Warlock already made an appearance. Hela, she already made an appearance. We've already talked about the Infinity Gauntlet, right? So Infinity is already in there. They've already sparsely even talked about the One Beyond All. He's in there somewhere.
To be fair, there's time zones and quantum zones, and so sooner or later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Even though Adam Warlock appeared at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they can't say, hey, because the fans don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
the movie.
Hey,
the Brit guy who's not allowed to watch the Disney shows has just told them that Adam. Oh no! Right. Next.
Hey, the movie,
say goodbye, everyone.
The movie is 3 hours long. They can introduce anything they want in that 3 hours.
All right.
Batman's going to save the day, right?
So we should. Our next episode should be like a special breaking down of Endgame.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Maybe we have. Maybe you can get your special guest to do that, huh?
Yeah. Ooh, you tease.
Yeah.
Well, I've just so you know, I've got my topics of Jeopardy down.
Oh, okay.
And I've got 10 out of 15 questions sorted. So,
nice.
So it better be nice. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So that's gonna do it for another episode of No Prize Podcast, and go out and catch Avengers Endgame coming in T-minus 13 days, and we will be here to talk about it next time.
Adios.
Bye.